showtime with Triple G. Brace yourself for the things you'll see. From comic books to toys and more, and all cartoons that we adore. Pop culture, flicks and geeky stuff. We love it all and can't get enough. So settle in and enjoy the show. Please hit like and subscribe before you go.
How is it hanging, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and tonight I am over the moon to be joined by two of my favourite people on the YouTube. We've got Andy from Perpetual Comics. See, it rolls off the tongue now, Andy. Perpetual Comics. Perpetual Comics.
Do you notice how every single video he does, it says he's on with his favourite YouTube people?
It's because there's only about 5 people that I do the shows with. Do you know what I mean? you are.
Who's your real favourite? It's okay to say it.
Efren.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's fair.
Understandable, to be fair.
Yeah.
Efren. He's bless him. But we've got Andy. How are you, Andy? Are you well?
I am absolutely fabulous. I'm looking forward to this. I was sad that I missed the last one, so I'm really looking forward to it. And it's always good to be in the show with Phil as well.
Absolutely. We don't see Phil enough. Phil, it's always a pleasure, mate. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm very good. I'm also quite sad I missed the previous installment of this show, but I'm always glad to jump in. Look, it makes my day. Even though we're at the end of the day, I look forward to this all day. Gets me through work. I'm going to be sitting here with you fine chaps.
That's nice to know. And Phil, I have to say, your background is looking stunning again. It looks lovely. Background as in, Andy, you're very nice. But Phil, yours is phenomenal. What you been doing? You been renovating?
I haven't. If I recall, that's actually one of the reasons why I couldn't attend last month, because I was renovating the shed, and it was a holy sight, to be honest. But yeah, I have renovated this corner for live streams. What you don't see behind the camera is a complete disaster.
Pigsty.
Yeah,
decimation.
Yeah, but at least here now I have no excuses not to appear on people's shows or do my own stuff, because this corner will remain neat and tidy.
Well, it looks stunning. I tell you what, my eye is drawn, obviously, to your well-groomed physique, but my eye is drawn to your Cosmic Ghost Rider. Is the wheel lit up there, or is that just the plastic it's made out of?
No, that's just the plastic. But I did have an idea of buying a little kind of Poundland, what do you call them? Little fairy light.
LED. But it looks lit up, doesn't it, Andy? Do you not think it looks?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think it's the reflection of these lights there, but it's looking absolutely stunning, as are you, Phil.
Thanks. I should say that these are by our good friend Kevin Wells. You can find as KWiz88, I think, is it on Instagram?
Yeah.
Head him up for some commissions. He's a good friend and a very, very good artist.
I have to say, I mean, Kevin's done me a couple of good commissions. The prices he charges are just obscenely cheap. You know, he charges peanuts really for a commission.
And he will also do offers every so often, especially leading up like Thought Bubble. If he's attending, he'll do some deals for you.
Yeah. Worth checking out, because he does some amazing work. And also check out his, I can never say it, Phil, help us out. What's his book? Last Einharjar?
The Last Einharjar, I think. I'm terrible at pronunciation.
Yeah, I can't do it. Check out his book, The Last. It's really, really good. It is really good. Let's see who we've got. We have got Fuzzy of the Dunlop. Fuzzy do. Andy, help. What's that? What's that say? Is that Scottish?
Yes.
Can you translate? Or can you just read it as is?
Foos your do's and foos your neeps.
Okay. Neeps, is that not turnips?
Tatties.
Tatties and I think me and you, Phil, think nips as in, but I think a neep in Scotland, is that not a turnip or a baby turnip or something?
Neeps and tatties, that's what you have with your
Burns now, isn't it? Yeah, Burns. Aye. Anyway, nice to see you. We've got Deadman Terry. Terry's just put out a cracking video about Superman comics. Andy, you'll love it. From the 60s. I can't remember the year exactly, but some really beautiful covers, so well worth checking out. Good evening, Fuzzy, and whoever is coming up on the new Haunted Fish Tank tonight. Terence, we've got Andy in the chat. Well, hello there. Hi, have you watched the Final Destination trailer yet? I have, and it was spot. You guys fans of Final Destination?
I am, but I didn't realize there was,
just out today.
Oh, really? I'll check this out after.
It tells you the kind of there's always a big event. It shows you what the big event is, but it's really interesting how they're doing it this time.
See,
So, yeah.
I would say I'm a fan, but like, I think the third one's the last one I could remember. Has there been many since?
There's been loads. I think we're up
Okay.
to about 6 or something like that. Yeah, but some really good. But there's a bit in this. I mean, the trailer shows you that it doesn't pan out. But there's a bit in this, 1966, Terry saying, where a guy drops a bottle and it goes into like an ice bucket, and then they scoop it up and it's in people's drinks, and you can see the shard of glass. That just freaked me out. I just thought, oh my God, if someone drinks that and it goes in their mouth and blah. But yeah, very, very cool. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Say again, mate?
You have been to Weatherspoons.
I have, but that tends to be grinded. Do you know what I mean? The glass is a bit
Yeah.
you know.
It's a glass in your burger with their spoons too. You know.
It is. We've got Wayne. Nice to see you, Wayne. Hope you're well. We've got Connie. Always nice to see you, Connie. We've got Anton. Welcome. Faint praise is no praise at all, is it, Andy? Wow. We've got Dan. Nice to see you, Dan. There we are. Translation. How's your pigeons? How's your turnips? My turnips are doing grand. Everybody else's turnips well? Good? Phil looks totally confused.
Yeah, but pigeons are they're screwed. Does he mean like
Excuse
actual
me?
pigeons? Does that mean something else?
Pigeons are the winged variety of pigeons, I presume.
Do you have any?
I don't. I personally know. I don't.
Okay.
I am northern, but we don't all keep pigeons. Do you have pigeons? Anybody? No? What the hell are we talking about? Anyway, moving on. The best part of being in the world right now is watching Daredevil: Born Again. Is it out tonight or tomorrow? I haven't seen the latest episode yet.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm liking it. It's not as good as Invincible. Do you guys watch Invincible?
I'm so behind on it, but I need to get, because I think there's loads happening. There's new characters coming in. There's loads of stuff. So I need to get back into it.
How behind are you? Have you caught the last season yet?
Didn't season 2 come out and like the first half didn't stop? I think I got to that point and then I didn't watch on.
I don't think I've watched an episode of it.
Oh mate, this last season is just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Many seasons is there? 3?
3. Yeah, 3.
Oh,
yeah.
a lot of commitment.
I think there's only like 8 episodes per season or something like that.
Right, okay.
I think it's about an hour an episode, mate, 45 minutes to an hour or something. But it's well worth a watch. 1966, thanks Terry. Evening, lovely people. Nice to see you, Luke. Luke, how are you doing? Luke's put out a great video just last week, where, speaking of Invincible, where he's selling his Invincible collection. So please check that out, particularly if you're interested in picking up some Invincible comics. But you're sticking with your Thor collection, aren't you, Luke? So that's good news. But yeah, check that out. Anton saying Invincible is really, really good. Connie, the third one is the best. Final Destination. I've really enjoyed most of them. I don't think I might have seen the last couple, mind. But it just freaks me out. I do like them. We've got Von Hoot. Hoot. Nice to see you, Doctor. I hope you're well. Again, Dr. Von Hoot. You can see I spend a lot of time on YouTube. Dr. Von Hoot has got a great video out at the moment as well, where he's reviewing some books he's had come through the post with a very, very nice slab that he's picked up. I'll not spoil it for those of you that are going to go from this and watch the video, but it's a modern book which is spot on, absolutely spot on. Battle Beast 1 has pre-orders of 400,000. Wow. So yeah, that's a side book to the Invincible universe coming out soon. It's got some cracking covers, so I'm looking forward to that.
Is Robert Kirkman on that?
Yeah, I think he's writing it. Yeah, I think he's writing it. There's about, as usual with books these days, guys, there's about 400 different covers to this book.
How many have you ordered?
Well, I've ordered a couple because I do love the character, but I've ordered 6. They're doing a blind bag thing where it's in a poly bag. You don't know what cover you're going to get. It could be any of the Battle Beast covers, but then they've also said there's random stuff thrown in there for some of them. So all connected to the Invincible universe, but they've not given any indication of what it is or what it could be. It could be a load of shite, or it could be something pretty special. So I've ordered 6 of the bloody things.
Is that why there's pre-orders of 400,000 then?
Yeah.
That's exactly it, isn't it?
Fuzzy's bought 15 copies of Fish You Want. Fuzzy, I thought we were cutting down, man. I thought we said we were going to try and cut back a little bit. Let's have a look. Anton, is it okay if I talk about my list? if I talk about my podcast. Certainly, Anton, stick the link. I don't know if links work in the chat. You'll have to type it out, but put your link to your podcast in the chat, mate, and we'll check that out. Okay, guys, listen, let's crack on. We'll start off with a book review. Should say, those of you that haven't seen this show before, myself, Andy, and Phil have each read some books over the last few weeks. We're going to talk a little bit about those books. Some of them only one of us read, some of them we've all read, and we're going to kind of interject that with a few pickups and things like that. There's going to be a giveaway at the end of the show, so we'll give away some comics at the end of the show as well. But Phil, I think we're going to start off with you, mate, because you've been reading, when you sent us your little list of pickups, you've been reading some what I would class as classic books lately. You've read Batman Death in the Family.
Yeah, so this is for my own video purpose. I asked ChatGPT what are the 10 best Batman books, and I was discovered that there was three I hadn't read, and this is one of them. And to be fair, I've never understood why I haven't read this one, so I wanted to jump into this. And you know something? I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And pardon me, art-wise, it is what they expect from something from the 80s. I think it was 1988, was it? It came out?
Something like that,
yeah. And
see, I love that art style. I love that. That to me is crisp old school art. I love it.
There were a few questionable scenes, like for example, like they're fighting in the dark, and they even reference like you can't see the enemies, but like it's bright daylight. So I find things like that a bit strange.
Yeah.
But this was a fantastic story, and I never really cared for Jason Todd, to be fair, ever. But I never really understood why he, like the Red Hood, why he became the Red Hood, why he was so angry. You find a lot of bitterness within him before he, well, listen, spoilers, death in the family, he dies. So even before he dies, he's filled with like anger and hate, and he's beating up bad guys, but he's a bit too bitter, and Batman thinks he's not ready. But then also you can kind of see the guilt in Batman even before Robin dies, like the fact that he thinks he's not ready for this and all the rest of it. But I found it was interesting because I'd never realized like they went to like Beirut, and they went to the actual incident of where Joker killed Jason Todd happened in Ethiopia.
Yeah,
I was just like, it's just really random for Batman to go to these places or whatever. But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic story, and whether or not it belongs in Batman's top 10, I don't know, but it's certainly one of the more recognizable, more noteworthy stories I'd recommend to people. But yeah, this was great.
I went through a series a while ago of loving just interconnecting comic covers, and I think if you get I think it's 4 parts or something, isn't it? If you get the 4 interconnecting covers to this, it looks amazing. You know, the raw stunning cover work. Yeah. And of course, this was one of the first times where they did the dialing, and you could pick or choose whether Robin lived or died, which was just weird. You know,
it was weird.
You're voting on killing a kid.
In the copy that I read, that scene there where he's carrying the body of Jason Todd, they had the sketch variant, I suppose, like the kind of the opposite story where he's holding him, he's like, he's alive, and just like to see the fact that they obviously planned 2 potential outcomes, you know, so that they would make their deadlines, whatever. I thought was one, it seems like a lot of work, a lot of stress for nothing. But equally, like I think they were charging up quite a lot of money for people to ring in, weren't they?
Yeah. So that original pencil sketch of the him surviving is in the DC archive. It was on a show that Mark Hamill did a little while ago where he visited the DC archives, and Jim Lee shows him the kind of the original cover. It's just stunning. Andy, you're a Bat fan, aren't you? You must have read this one.
Surprisingly, I haven't.
Right.
I do have the books, but I think it's because of the iconic covers that were absolutely, you know, anywhere you go, if you can pick this up, it's a definite pickup. As you know, I've been sort of going back and looking at some classic books, and sort of trying to get my love of reading comics back again. So I'm always interested to hear what people think of these stories, knowing that I've got them sitting in a box somewhere. Why don't I just drag them out and have a quick read, especially if it's 4 issues, as we say. So if Phil recommends it, then I might give this a go.
They're 4 longer issues, so it feels like 8 issues, but
right,
it's worth it. Even the Joker's great in it. It's genuinely really good, and like I say, you get to understand why Red Hood and Jason Todd are a little bit bitter in later life.
I mean, I guess for me as well, it's an older book, so you know, 80s or whatever. The brutality of the scene where Joker kills Robin is pretty. I mean, Andy, you might have seen that scene because it's shown in a lot of
Oh yeah,
promotional
yeah.
material. But with the crowbar, it's downright brutal. I'm surprised there wasn't. Well, there might have been more concern and complaints in the day or whatever. I don't know, but it certainly doesn't leave anything to the imagination.
Yeah, it's quite sadistic. He didn't just kill him; he brutalized him and blew him up. So it's
yeah. Couple of comments about this one, Phil. So, Phil, have you read the one where he didn't die? So I think that was a more recent comic, Terry, wasn't it? Where they kind of showed you the tail. That's the image on the bottom there, actually, of him holding the live Robin. I've read that one, but a while ago. Any of you guys read it?
I haven't read that one, but that'll be next.
Yeah, it's worth a look. Fuzzy, new Batman and Jason Todd story starting soon. Excellent. Who's the writer on that, Fuzzy? Do we know who the writer is? Definitely is a really good choice. If you want a couple of others, I would suggest Long Halloween.
A long Halloween. That's excellent.
Fantastic, yeah.
Sorry, Phil, I'm covering your face there. Long Halloween is an absolutely phenomenal book. Get your thinking caps on, guys. Don't put it in the chat just yet. But at the end of the show, what we might do is talk about some classic books that we might want to look at for a future show and read some of them. Because, I mean, me and Andy, and I can't remember if you're on the show or not, Phil, talked a little while ago about books that when you're seen as being a comic reader, a comic collector, people just assume you've read, like your Watchmen's and things like that. Do you know what I mean?
The funny thing is, I actually watched the animated movie of Watchmen at the weekend, and I've tried to read Watchmen, and people, like you're saying, people think like, oh, Watchmen's the best comic of all time. I'm thinking, is it? Because I've never really. I tried to read it, haven't finished it. It's not a comic book in my mind. It's more like, I don't know, more important literary work type of thing,
I think that's a great point because I mean, I love Watchmen, but it's a you've got to invest time in it, if you know what I mean, because it isn't a quick read. It's not a comic, if that makes sense, like you've just said, But yeah, there's some great bits in Watchmen. The movie's really good, actually. The live action movie is very.
Oh, the first original one, yeah. It's really good.
Like
I said, the animated movie. If you can watch cartoon movies, there's 2 parts to it. They're very good as well.
I've not watched the animated one yet. I've watched the live one. If you can get away with the fact that Manhattan's huge blue penis is kind of wobbling around the screen, that's a little bit off-putting.
Sold.
Exactly.
That's why I love it so much. Yeah.
One of my favorite lines from the book and the movie, they do it so well in the movie, is where you've got Rorschach in prison and he's just chucked the vat of oil on the guy's face, and he says, I think something along the lines of, you don't understand, you all think I'm locked in here with you, but you're actually locked in here with me. And it's like, that's just tremendous. That's like a Batman thing to say. Do you know what I mean? If Batman was in jail.
I think it's one of the favorite lines I've ever heard. But I'm hoping that's where that's its origin. See if it came from somewhere else, I'd be disappointed. I wanted to be in that comic,
Yeah. Batman, iconic cover. My original copy I got signed. Wow. The air release Hellboy, very cool. We've got Ed Vic. Woo woo. Nice to see you, Ed. Hope you're doing well, bud. We've got Kenneth. Always nice to see you, Kenneth. Thank you for joining. Anton, I have the book. I have all the covers. Yes, some stunning covers. Phil, you mentioned classic books there. Andy's recently read a classic. So, Andy, tell me a little bit about this. I know Phil's read this one as well, and he loves it.
Oh, be still my beating heart. Did I ever think I would bring myself to reading a book that so heavily involves the main man himself, Mr. Superman? It's well known for those who watch the various shows that I've been on that Superman wouldn't be my most favourite character that I would go to. And I think, by and large, that's because I've not been reading the right books. And I think that's where it goes back to reading some of the classics. So I'd asked Peter and I'd asked the chat to recommend some, and I got a barrage of books, and I was like, right, okay, let's go with it. Which one should I go to? What's my go-to one? And it was Kingdom Come. And that I was happy with that choice, first and foremost because of the artwork. Alex Ross. What can we say about Alex Ross that hasn't been said before? Absolutely stunning. So at least it was going to be a feast for the eyes, if anything. But not only that, but Mark Waid's writing in this was stunning. And I do like a book that makes you think afterwards that, it's kind of makes you contemplate, and even though it's not written in recent times, it's kind of it's known as a classic book. It could easily have been referencing some of the things that are going on in the world at the minute, and I thought it was absolutely stunning, and it made me message the likes of Peter and other guys and say, right, okay, what's next, what we're going to do next, whether it's a classic story or whether it's another Superman story. So thanks to Peter and thanks to the guys in the chat for recommending it. I thought it was absolutely stunning. Loved it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I talk about this book a lot. One of my favourites. That's probably my favourite ever image of Superman. The cover we've got there, issue number 4, with him kind of covered in the nuclear red flames. I don't know why. I just love it. I went back and reread this story because I knew you were reading it, Andy, and it still holds up for me. I'm a big sucker for Alex Ross's art style. I really, really liked it. Phil, you guys read this on the Nerd Herd a good while ago, didn't you? And you, from memory, I know I take the piss, but you liked it, but you weren't blown away by it. Is that right?
I think because we've had this kind of running joke for a few years now, Peter, anything that gets mentioned on your channel, I always kind of scoff at it. I put this to bed now. I really enjoy Kingdom Come. I had some nitpicks. I think people were flabbergasted that I didn't score it a 10. I think I gave it like an 8.5 or something, but it's still a fantastic score.
Yeah.
Alex Ross's art, there's no doubt, looks phenomenal. It's beautiful. My only nitpick, and it is a nitpick, it doesn't have that dynamism. Is that the right word? Like in terms of like the fight scenes, everything's very static. That was my only thing. That should be a bad thing. I'm just in the context of a comic. That's what I was talking about. But yeah, it is a phenomenal story, to be honest. I even upgraded my trade paperback to the Absolute Edition, which I have now.
Absolute Edition's lovely book.
I wouldn't spend that money on a book that I didn't actually like. So yeah, this is fantastic, and it is a classic. It's sometimes actually surprised Andy hadn't read before.
Yeah, and it's great. The Absolute Edition, I'm sure from memory, I didn't go back and recheck it when I read it, but Alex Ross has slipped. So first off, Phil, I completely get what you mean about the dynamic nature of his artwork. Sometimes each page for me is like a painting, but sometimes it doesn't portray that comic book kind of action. Do you agree, Andy? What do you think?
I would say it's probably the color palette that's used. I think Bat Dan has hit it the nail on the head there, where he's saying that some of the fight scenes were hard to work out because there was such a sort of plethora of characters that he used. I found it difficult to first of all understand, right, who's the character? And then once I established who the character was, it was like, okay, well, who's fighting who's just punched who's died there? And I think when you've got to use your brain that much when you're analysing pages, then the beauty of the artwork seems to fade. But I think it was the fact that Mark Waid's writing was so strong that you kind of just flew past that because you wanted to get to the next page to find out where the story was going to go. But I completely agree. I think it's a mixture of the color palette that was used because it's quite a sort of toned down, sort of almost pastel-y, as if there's like some sort of Instagram filter on every single page to a certain extent.
So I've read this maybe in completion, maybe 4 or 5 times now. And one of the things I love about, I'm sure it's in the Absolute Edition, is Alex has put so many kind of little hidden gems throughout every page. Like the Beatles are in here, you've got all the super pets in the farmyard scenes, including the monkey. There's kind of guest appearances all over the place. I can never get the name right. Where'd you come from? What remember you said? Rorschach. Yeah, Rorschach. He's in there in some of the scenes, And in the Absolute Edition, you get kind of like a guide as to where all these little things are hidden and stuff like that. And I loved going through that and just kind of spotting things that you didn't spot the first time around,
I think for a book like this too, like it does have like a bit more depth, as in like a bit more meaning. You can't just read it and throw it away where a lot of comics do. So sometimes it takes to read this 2 or 3 times to really appreciate it. And even then, I think if you read it 4, 5, 6 times, probably still find kind of new appreciation, new stuff you like, but it is a classic.
I would totally agree with that, Phil. I've started to read that again in quick succession, and I think you take each issue, you take something a little bit different from it, and I think that's definitely a sign of good writing.
Well thought out, yeah.
Bat Dan's just saying my dodgy eyesight needs the Absolute Edition. I'll be honest with you, Dan, if it's a book that I like, I always get the Absolute Edition or the Marvel equivalent these days, purely because I enjoy the artwork better because of my eyesight, because I'm getting older. Do you know what I mean? I think Alex Ross's artwork is the kind of artwork that you need in the best possible format you can get to enjoy. I wouldn't recommend reading this book digitally. Do you know what I mean? I would get a
That's what I did.
solid copy.
That's what
I
I
would
did.
get a solid copy in your hand and have a good look at it, you know. Anton's recommending a Doctor Who graphic novel. I'll be honest with you, Anton, I don't think I've ever read a Doctor Who comic. I've watched the show. I watch the show a lot, but I don't think I've ever read a Doctor Who comic. Any of you guys read Doctor Who?
Never.
Nope. Never.
Might be something for to do at some point. Now, I've picked a book that Andy recommended a little while ago and read. Excuse me. Andy, I have to say, the fact that, Rob, nice to see you, Rob. Thank you so much, Rob. I really do appreciate that, mate. That is very, very kind of you. Please do make sure you check out Rob over on Rob Fatstack's Saturday night show. Always superb. Only slabs. And he was interviewed by MJ Comics recently, so check out that interview as well. Thank you, Rob. That is very, very kind of you. Do appreciate that. Connie's saying the Doctor Who comics are half decent. I guess he never picked one up. I will have to check one out. So Andy recommended a comic. Andy, I've read this now. This is Nick Fury, Fin Fang Foom. I have to be honest with you. When you said you'd read it and loved it, I thought Andy's off his rocker here. This is not the kind of book Andy would read. And then I've read it, and I'm even more confused. This just doesn't feel like the kind of book I picture you reading at all. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely. It was silly Marvel fun. Geek big space dragon monsters, good old Fin Fang Foom there. Nick Fury before he forms the Howling Commandos, where he forms them at the end, I guess. I thought this was just good fun.
Did you want more? Did you want more?
I did, yeah. But you know what?
End.
I am a fan of J. Michael, I can never get his name right, Straczynski's writing. Loved his Babylon 5 back in the day. I enjoyed most of his Spider-Man. So this was fun. I'm gonna give you that. Andy, what did you think of it?
I absolutely loved this book. I think I've got to the point a lot of the time when I'm trying to find time to read comics, I want to take the pressure off and sort of take my brain after a hard day's work and life and just put it to the side. And comics like this, I think, are just perfect because you're kind of it's an adventure you're going into. And it was two sort of characters that I wasn't familiar with at all. And I thought the writing, I thought the sort of this was obviously a one shot, but it was at the end of it, I was like, okay, is this an ongoing series? Are we going to get a little bit more of this? Artwork was fantastic. I thought the way that and this is really sad, but the way that the sort of old time sort of warplanes were drawn, I thought that was fantastic as well. The detail in those were great. And some of the dialogue from Fin Fang Foom, I thought was like, this is a character I want to know a little bit more about. That we need to get in more comics. So yeah, I thought it was great.
So, I mean, I'm familiar with Fin Fang Foom from Iron Man and things like that he's been in. Mm-hmm. So this is part of a series of books where they're teaming up interesting characters. So you've had Rocket Raccoon and Doom, Volstagg and Captain America, I think. And I have to be honest, I've seen the covers and thought, this just looks silly. I'm not going to bother with that. I've read this one and I'm thinking, actually, I'm going to go back and read them all now, because if it's this much fun, this for me, do you know, we've just been talking about Watchmen and Kingdom Come and how you've got to invest time and effort into it. I didn't with this. I sat and I just flicked through and thoroughly enjoyed the escapism, you know?
It was a throwaway book, but in a good way, in a positive way, where it's like, just pick it up, whether it's digitally or otherwise, have a read, enjoy it, and then that's it. Park it its way. You don't need to think about it,
You read this one, Phil?
No, for some reason, I looked at the cover, I thought that must be about 10, 15 years old or whatever, and I checked, it was like 2 weeks ago it came out.
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest, same as you, Pete, if I seen that in the shelves, I really wouldn't look twice at it. But maybe I'll check it out now on your recommendation.
I think what I'm going to do, Phil, because I think this is a series of 5 or 6 books, I'm going to wait until there's a nice little trade paperback containing all the stories, and I'll pick that up and give it a go, I think.
But the reason why I wouldn't look twice at it is because Marvel do this quite often, where they do release books that are a bit stupid, that end up being actually quite stupid.
Yeah.
And you kind of lump this kind of stuff in with it. So maybe it's like I don't know, like it's their own fault. If they didn't do so much rubbish, we would
Absolutely.
appreciate this stuff even more.
It's definitely a wild card, I would say. It's definitely a high risk book as well, because it could have easily went the other way, where you're just like, that was a waste of 32 pages there, you know.
Absolutely.
With my time, yeah.
Connie's just saying the Doctor Who books are half decent. Read Doctor Who crossover with Star Trek. Ooh. I'll be
Those
interested
are
in that.
Two things I am not doing.
Whoa, do not diss TNG, Andy. I'm a big Star Trek TNG fan. You got the Borg in there, so I'll have to check that one out.
You got me reading Superman. No, you want me to do Doctor Who and Star Trek? Come on, now. Calm yourself.
I think we can do it. I think I'm going to actually reread and maybe do a little review series of all the Doctor Who. Nice. I'd like that, Connie. I'd certainly jump in on that.
Yeah.
But Dan, I find new details every time I reread The Long Halloween. Oh, I love The Long Halloween. Just like every time I rewatch The Godfather. Yeah. Long Halloween would be a really good one to watch, to read, guys. I love that book. It's one of the good ones too, with his Next Gen and the Cybermen and the Borg. A few people have said Captain America and Volstagg is meant to be good. Came out recently. Yeah, I think that's part of the same series. I am going to check that one out, I think. Okay, guys. Well, let's do some pickups. So, Andy, what have you got to show off?
Yeah, like I've got quite a few bits and pieces here, but I was sent to you just before we went live. I sort of went down a little bit of a nostalgia hunt, and yeah, see what we think about these books. So, I picked up DC The Super Friends issue number 1.
Wow, look at that, Andy. I'm not going to make you big because I know you don't like being big on screen, do you? So,
not for free anyway. You know.
Yeah,
that's
it'll take more than 5 free memberships though.
Who's the artwork on that cover? It looks almost like Prez.
Yeah, yes,
I don't think it is Prez, no, but I probably should know this, but I'm not 100% sure. 1976 this cover, but it's got that sort of look at the penguin one. It's
proper old school, isn't it?
Yeah, it's proper old. That's what drew me to it. So I picked that up, and I picked up another copy of the Flintstones, nice newsstand copy of the Flintstones.
Nice. So is that first Flintstones in comic?
No, I don't think so. Somebody correct me in the chat. I don't think it's the first Flintstones in comic. Could be wrong though. Okay. I don't think it is. Police Academy.
I loved the Police Academy. Loved Police Academy back in the day.
Very cool. Newsstand there. You'll like this one. So this is another copy of this that I picked up. The Visionaries.
Yeah.
Is it shiny?
No. This one isn't shiny. The original, the British one, the UK one has got like a lovely sort of silver foil sticker in the middle.
It's really hard to get with it. I've got one. It's really hard to get with the hologram on because it was a detachable, so people used to tear it off. So I've got a copy with and a copy without.
Captain Planet.
You guys had a look at the are you interested in the new version Captain Planet coming out?
I've seen some of the artwork for it. It just don't judge a book by its cover, but I think I already have, to be fair with that one. But I'll no doubt give it a read.
I didn't even know. I should keep my ear to the ground for things like this, but I don't.
Yeah.
About Ghostbusters action.
Nice.
Is that the
Not the Ghostbusters.
Oh, right, interesting.
So this has gone back to 1986. That one.
I've seen that one before, Andy. That's an interesting one.
86. That's a good year.
Good. Yeah. It's about 4 years too late for me. A couple of Street Fighters. So I got the gold edition and the regular edition. So
that is very nice.
A lot of these are duplicates I already had in the collection. Itchy and Scratchy.
Very cool.
Just pure nostalgia. That's what we're good doing. A little bit of Mask.
Nice.
Yeah. And Pinky and the Brain, number 1.
I loved Pinky and the Brain. Absolutely loved Pinky
and
the Brain.
Brain.
No.
A little bit of Animaniacs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And last but not least from the nostalgia run, a bit of Jurassic Park.
Nice.
Did I say
That
Tops?
was my Tops, yeah. I think it was a 3 or 4 issue series, that one.
Does that one come with a trading card or something? I seem to remember the Jurassic
Park. Yes, it did, yeah. This one, the first issue came with 3 trading cards, I believe. Yeah.
Are these eBay purchases, Andy? Or have you been ciphering through
eBay.
the bins?
eBay.
I was going to say, you never see comics like that in the stores I go to. So
No. Yeah, any of the stores in Belfast that's the bought as well been picked over. The best bet is going down to Dublin and have a look for those sorts of books. But eBay is your friend at the minute. You very rarely see them on Whatnot as well. Very rarely. So yeah, these were just eBay pickups.
I have, as you know, I have no impulse control at all. Something popped up on eBay the other day, and I've bought it. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm going to do a few videos on it. But I've bought it. It's a signed item. And then, do you know when you buy something and you think, I haven't even looked at the description. I haven't looked at the certificate of authenticity and things like that. And I've paid a fraction of the price of what this should be worth, really. I think it's a load of shite. I think I've bought something that's probably 99% a fake.
Is this the one you discussed last week at your show that you thought was too cheap, too good to be true, almost?
No, I got that. That's been delivered on Friday.
You got that one eventually?
Yeah. No, this is a different one. Yeah. No, this is. Oh, I just tell you, Christopher Reeve signature on a Superman book. And then when I've bought it, I've gone and looked at the certificate of authenticity, and it's like something you print on a dot matrix printer with a company that I've never heard of. So it had a web address for the company. I've checked the web address out, and it's bullshit. So yeah, I've got a feeling it's cack. Serves myself right. It's ridiculously cheap if it was a Christopher Reeve signature. But
was it a raw book? Was it?
A raw book, yeah. Raw book. Okay. Yeah. So to console myself, I've done the same thing tonight and bought another book. That's probably fake as well, but we'll see. Anton, the Dynamite, which you guys are talking about, is tearing it up right now about Darkwing Duck and Zootopia. Yeah, I've heard good things about the Darkwing Duck. That version of Ghostbusters was from Filmation, and it was live action version first, and then it was animated. Okay, thanks very much for that, Anton. Phil, anything you want to show off?
Nothing as glamorous as Andy. One thing that came in the post recently was a new omnibus to go into the collection, and it's
nice.
Daredevil by Ann Nocenti and Geordie Romita Jr. I'm not a massive Romita Jr. fan. I actually think his artwork's quite ugly, but maybe this will change my mind. Like an actual good story. This contains the first appearance of Typhoid Mary.
Yeah.
Which I'll be honest, as a character, I know nothing about other than a few appearances she's had in more recent comics. But I understand she's a bit lethal, but also there's like a love story with her and Daredevil, and so I'm interested to get into that. I love the character of Daredevil. Certainly love the idea of it. Chip Zdarsky's run got me into it, watching the TV shows, and I've went back and read some of the kind of key stories. But I really want to do a big run through. So I have every omnibus since Frank Miller's run. Well, not everyone, but quite a few since Frank Miller's run. And I do plan on a massive read through because I'm led to believe there's not a bad run of Daredevil. But I'm sure there is, just maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I dip in and out of Daredevil, to be honest. I've enjoyed not the recent run, though I did enjoy that at the start, but the kind of the last one, which went side by side with that Punisher series by Jason Aaron. I really enjoyed that. That was a great Daredevil run. Someone read the Frank Miller stuff recently. I can't remember who it was, but they mentioned in the chat and said that they'd gone back and read it, and it's a challenging read. It hasn't aged well.
Yeah, it contains Born Again, which obviously has got nothing to do with the TV show. It's Born Again by name only, of course, but I read Born Again, and it's a fantastic story. But again, the whole run, is it really that good? I'm not sure. Yeah. But I think that era, I like the idea of Daredevil from that era, a bit darker, a bit grittier. Probably coincides with like Batman becoming darker and grittier at the same time. So
it's those street level heroes, isn't it, that I think I sort of enjoy a little bit more. Especially the TV shows sort of made me sort of look at older stories. But the Chip Zdarsky run was fantastic for really I love that. I've got a question for you, Phil, if I may. So those omnibuses, I think I've got like maybe one or two of them. and I'm almost quite scared to open them up because I'm told that like the pages and all that sort of stuff can happen to them if you don't do something to prime them before you start reading them and flick through them.
You can stretch the spine, but if you watch videos like Chris from Off My Shelves was always really good at explaining this at the start as well. Like, books are like, if you get glue bound books, for example, like DC do a lot of glue bound of big books, and they do tend to fall apart. Right. If it's sewn bound, they generally are okay if you stretch them enough. But equally too, like, I do stretch the spines of mine, but don't worry if just bad again if it falls apart. And people can do their own, they can amend it and glue it themselves and all the rest of it. But I think sometimes people get a bit too carried away if they're trying to maintain the.
I do remember.
Just read it.
I do remember Chris showing you to put it on the back and then kind of gently keep opening it.
Yes, that's all you do. Get the block of paper and you're folding it down. You can do it page at a time if you want, or like a few pages at a time, but you can be there all day. But some people stretch them 3-4 times before they read it.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's just excessive. In my mind, I just stretch it once and then read it. That's if I read my books. A lot of these are still in the cellophane wraps. Unfortunately.
I'm exactly the same. I think it'd be a waste of time for me doing that where I've got my big greasy like ketchup fingers, eating a sausage pop or something like that.
I guess what I would say, Andy, is before I kind of changed my collecting habits, omnibuses were what I was collecting majority of. I had tons of omnibuses, shelves for them, and I read them all inside out, and I never had any issues with pages falling out or anything like that.
Yeah, they're quite robust, to be fair.
Yeah. Certainly, the only time I've ever had a book explode in my hands was Alex Cormack artwork. Our Bones, no, not Our Bones of Dust, Road of Bones, and it was a paperback. And literally, as I was reading it, every page was just falling out, and it was the glue issue.
Paperback for the worst, yeah.
Yeah, it was the glue issue. Just wanted to show this off, guys, and I kind of want to get your views on it. So this is InArt's The Batman action figure. It's a huge beast. I've paid. I mean, Phil, you collect InArt, or you've got a few InArts. You'll know that these are not cheap. This was about, I think, just under 500 or something like that. Beautiful looking figure. Just put that down. Just show you some images of it. So I've gone for the standard version. I didn't go for the rooted hair. So you get tons of accessories with them. You get the Bruce Wayne head sculpt. You get the masked head sculpt. You get the cowl for him to carry a shit ton of different weapons and accessories and all that kind of stuff. Really nice, beautiful looking figure. So I've got a few InArt ones now. They are pricey. They are the upper echelon, I guess you would say, of the action figures.
Nice use of that word.
I am good. But guys, this is what I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on. These are not my pictures. These are pictures from Tinternet. Remember the last show I think we did? I showed you an RC, I think the 3-0 Transformer. I might have been on the show on another show, which I've bought. Now I've got the Batman, and they've both sat in the boxes for probably 4 or 5 weeks. And it's making us think, previously when I was buying these figures and these toys, and the same I think can be said for comics, I was excited to get into them. I was excited to get them out of the box, do a video, show them off, get them in the camera and posed. And I don't know why I've not done that with these. This Batman figure I've been waiting for 2 years for. I should have been all over that. And I've just not got any kind of drive to get into it. So I'm starting to think, am I moving away from toys, or am I just a bit bored, or what? So I wonder, have you guys ever had that kind of a thing where you've just kind of, whether it's reading, toys, comics, whatever, you've just lost a little bit of the oomph for it?
Yeah, like to my left, which you can't see, thankfully, there's like 40 odd comic boxes of books. I'm just thinking, why did I have them? Yeah. They're not even like good ones to collect. I wouldn't. I mean, if I bought something that kind of pricey, I'd have bought a couple of different 1/scale things or 1/6 scale. But you have a lot. But sometimes I think with myself of books, and even the books behind me, like it's almost like you're spoiling yourself. That you lose that excitement because you have so much to choose from. But equally too, that 2 year wait is another reason to just. It's almost like you're pissed off at the item itself because
Yeah.
you did it for 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know if you just. I mean, Fuzzy saying it sounds like a rich guy problem. It's not a rich guy problem, Fuzzy. I think it's almost an oversaturation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you buy too much of it, you kind of start to lose a bit of passion for it. What about you, Andy?
So I would say from your perspective, you've already mentioned a few times, your impulse and maybe lack of control when you're picking it up. So
My wife
especially
been
with
talking
the
to you.
no, I'm not even going to go there. So 2 year wait is a long wait, of course, and I think it's maybe got to the point where you've already, in your mind, received it. You've already taken it out of the box. And when that 2 years, you've already done the content. Or is it maybe a case that some of the things that you're picking up less because you actually want them in your collection, and more you want to make some content on them?
I don't know if it's the content thing. I think, to be honest, your point's well made, Andy, because part of the problem with InArt, and Phil, you might attest to this with the figure you got, the release in waves. So you're right in some regards about the content, I guess, because this figure has been reviewed to death already a year ago by the big comic channels that have had it. I've watched all of those videos. Do you know what I mean?
You've already enjoyed it subconsciously.
Yeah,
enjoying it.
I'm getting mine a year after other people have talked about it. And I wonder if that's part of it as well. It's like,
I wonder if it's that kind of. Is it dopamine? Is that the right term? Like in terms of like, because we had this recently with my wife when my wife's got back into reading like real books, like book books, and she picked them up quite cheap. And she was seeing this book and it was like full price and Waterstones. I was like, just buy it. It's like, yeah, but you get cheaper at Amazon. Yeah, but you're not getting that thrill of actually purchasing something tactile on the day type of thing. Where so you made that purchase, you part of your funds 2 years ago, but didn't get that hit of dopamine with the figure coming in, and then by the time it arrives,
it's the experience, isn't it? You're buying an experience at the end of the day.
Forms part of it too, and that's the thing. That's the way we're going with online ordering anyway. But those figures are mad to have that length of time in between. Like I waited in Aragorn, and you're right. People get them months in advance before you, and you're also like worrying, am I going to get mine? Is it going to be cancelled? Was it being lost or whatever? Because they're coming from the other side of the world as well, and you're worried about it getting broken. And it's just a big purchase. You just want it in your hands quickly.
It's interesting. I guess it comes to the kind of the why you collect. What is it that drives you to collect? And I have no impulse and all that. We've talked about that, but I've got a big figure there, InArt figure. I've got it. Great. I'm not particularly excited to open it, but I was going to show it later on. But I'll show you this now instead. But at the same time, I've bought this. And I tell you, I couldn't be happier with this. This is a Generation 1 Metroplex original. I had this figure when I was a kid. This is complete. This has given me far more joy, I think, than the InArt Batman. I've played with this. I've moved it around. I've transformed it and things. I've, all that kind of stuff. So I think it is the nostalgia thing at some point as well. That plays into it. And Andy, the comics you've just shown off, they're pure nostalgia, aren't they?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. It's maybe something to do with the likes of maybe the affinity to the character that you've picked up, and
I didn't like the movie. Didn't like Batman the movie.
That's what I was thinking. You weren't fussed with the movie, sure you weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm the exact same with comics recently. So I would have got to the point where I was just sort of collecting to make full runs, and then I suddenly realised, well, I'm not going to get a Captain America one or an Iron Man one, so I'm never going to fill that collection. So you shift all those books, and then you realise that you're just drowning in books. And what happens, and Phil, you might be experiencing this yourself, where you're saying you get loads of boxes and stuff. It's like you're not going to never have enough time to read them. And at the minute, you're not even getting enough time to enjoy them because they're sitting in boxes. And I had a conversation with Tom, and he says, "Oh, are you picking up the John Tyler Christopher books?" And I was like, "No, because I'm just going to pick them up, and they're going to sit in a box like every other comic that I've got." So that's when I'm really heavily picking up books that give you that nostalgia kick, or you remember from a childhood, or something that's connected to something that you enjoy. And then I know that everybody has a bit of a joke about it, but just because I enjoy certain artists, you know, Jock and John Tyler Christopher and J. Scott Campbell, I buy stuff relating to those guys. And then certain characters like Batman, Joker, and just stuff that I would, if it doesn't fit in this office, then it doesn't get picked up. And then when I get too much, I start like siphoning it off and going, right, okay, well, what can I sell to then be able to buy some other stuff, you know? So
I think it's all like, Pete, you fall into that trap. Well, we all do it, but in terms of like that, like I'm on Facebook, that group, the guy who sells the figures, and he's been absent for a wee while. He's back in, but every so often he kind of puts like 3 or 4, half a dozen figures every horror week. And I just think that you're almost like ticking that box. Yep, I'll have that. That's lovely. I'll buy that one. That's lovely. I'll buy that one. Where like, I'm surprised you bought that because you weren't that fussed on the movie. It's a great looking figure by those pictures. Don't get me wrong, but I just surprised you actually bought that because you didn't.
I'm surprising myself, Phil. I'm surprising
myself. Is it fear of missing out, maybe, Peter? Like, if you don't buy it and then it's maybe twice as much a month later after it's been released? Maybe?
Not really, because there are figures that I have missed and not gone back for. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I have got in my head this Elseworlds display of Batman, because I've got a lot of Batman figures now, and it kind of fits in with that. You know,
that fits it. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I'm really jealous of the one you both got, and you got the
animated ones.
The animated one. I wish I picked that up.
Yeah, that one, Andy.
Oh yeah. Is that the Dark Hero or something it's called, isn't it?
Yeah, Dark Hero. Yeah.
See, I got the one without the yellow bat sign, and I'm kind of wishing I'd got the yellow bat sign one now. Did you get both, Andy?
I ordered both. I'm still waiting on that one. I'm waiting on. I'm still waiting on the Wolverine. So I'm waiting on the cheaper one. Yeah. And I'm waiting on Gunslinger as well. So.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I actually decided not to pre-order anymore because you always release it. Well, they always get released at the day quite a bit cheaper. So I'm just going to chance my arm and anything. Like, there's the Venom ones coming out, isn't it? The Venom coming out.
I like the Venom. I like it. So I've pre-ordered the Venom, and I like the Agent Venom as well. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
That's really smart. Anyway, guys, let's see what people are saying in the chat. Fuzzy, I've explored.
Wow.
A few magazines, yeah.
Nigel Coates. What do you think of Daz the Comic Key Chase? I watched a few of his videos. He does some good stuff. Good hunts. We've got Anton. I love the Batman. That was a great movie. I enjoyed the Penguin TV series. You guys watch the Penguin?
Not yet. Need to get
Superb.
to it.
That was really, really good. Really good. Anton saying awesome figure. Have I run out of cabinet space yet? I haven't, Terry. I got a new set of cabinets a little while ago, so I've got plenty of cabinet space. It's called FOMO. Yeah, I think you're probably right. It might be. There were times when I didn't want to read comics, but then I'm reminded of how good they were. I think we all go through that, Anton. I think, I know certainly me and Andy have. I think Phil probably has as well. There are times where I think I sickened myself at times of comics by trying to read too much. Yeah. And I should have just focused on the stuff that people recommended to us or that I know I enjoy. I mean,
forcing yourself to read something that you don't really want to read. That's the worst thing. When you've got lack of time as well.
Forced myself to read X-Men books, and it was like, why this is shite? I used to love X-Men. I need to just kind of agree that times have moved on and it's not that good, For me, comics have lost the buzz from collecting runs to keys to reading to weird things. There's so many rabbit holes. I love it. I'll never complete the game, but it's half the fun for me. Yeah. I think once you find something you're passionate about as well, it's great. What about C4 Darkman?
He found me.
He found you. You did, yeah. Nice to see you, C4 Darkman. Always nice to see you. Love Visionaries. Yeah, me too. One of my favourites. I know Andy's a big fan as well. Yeah. Got a video coming out all about Visionaries soon. So yeah, looking forward to that. See you later, Anton. Thanks very much for joining. Do appreciate you sticking around. Appreciate that. It gives you that money kick. How do you mean, Nigel? How do you mean? Let us know what you mean, mate. I'm totally with you there, Ed. Ed, we should rummage through each other's boxes one day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you know that's the exact text message you sent me the other day?
Jelly tots have changed shape. I wasn't ready for this.
Breaking news?
Yeah, since I've had a jelly tot. Back to the books. Phil, more classic reading from you.
Yeah, but I didn't like this one.
I don't think I've read it. It's Grant Morrison, isn't it?
It's got Grant Morrison all over it. If you know Grant Morrison's like, this, what he's like. Sometimes it goes a bit too crazy, a bit too kind of not even far fetched, but like it's just stuff I don't want to read. A bit mind boggling, a bit dark, and a bit sadistic. And like Grant Morrison, he studies like the occult and stuff like this here. And there's not loads of that in here. Don't get me wrong, but I wasn't that fussed, and I was really surprised. But I didn't like the artwork either. Klaus Janson. If I'm being honest, I can't tell you anything about it because I don't think I enjoyed it at all through the whole book. And like again, this is a book that made the top 10 according to ChatGPT, but there's no way I would put this personally in the top 10 of Batman books. It's
interesting, and I'll be interested in Andy's thoughts, but I have to be honest, until you sent us the slides, I don't think I've ever heard of this. I don't think it's ever. This is not a one that do you know when people talk about classic Batman tales, Batman Gothic's not a one that registered for us.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised myself. Yeah,
Andy, have you read this one?
It's not something I'm familiar with. The first thing I was drew to was that picture on the right hand side where it says like "I am the king of hell." Just that sort of dialogue, and as Phil was saying there, the artwork. It's probably one that it would pass me by unless somebody specifically said it was a really good read.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like a Batman book, in my opinion. It doesn't feel like the Batman, whether it be the even like the Dark Batman or the like the 66 campy Batman. It doesn't fit any of that stuff really. I'm sure there's some fans for it, but it's not one I'll look at again.
See, controversial opinion. I'm not always a massive Grant Morrison fan. I know he does some good stuff.
Same.
But a lot of the stuff he does just does my head in. I can't get my head around a lot of his work.
The only thing I could honestly say that's top tier is the Klaus book, the Christmas, the Santa story.
Yeah.
Have you read it? That's the only one I would suggest of his. Is that it's my favourite book of his.
Yeah.
Controversial, maybe I don't know, but I'm the same. I'm not. This wasn't. This is not one Andy to read. This is not Kingdom Come material. This is not.
Yeah. We'll pass.
Avoid.
We'll pass on that one then, Batman, this was the first arc of Legends of the Dark Knight series, I recall. The second arc was Venom, was much better. Now, I've got a feeling I've read Venom. Is that the one with Hugo Strange, Dan? I think the artwork and that was pretty cool, if that's the one I think it is. Von Hood, it's not top 10 material. I didn't dislike Gothic if memory serves, but you could easily pass it on. Yeah. I thought this was famously universally disliked. Okay, interesting. And it was issue 6 to 10 of Legends of the Dark Knight, I believe. Okay.
Yeah, it's quite
But it showed up on your list of top 10 Batman books to read.
Because this is... I asked AI to make some YouTube video ideas for me, and they said the top 10 of characters. I done Batman, and this came up, and I was like, okay, I haven't read it.
That's the danger of using ChatGPT, because it could have used like the top 10 Grant Morrison Batman-related books as its source. You know what I mean? It's like things like you just never know.
But Grant Morrison has a big reputation. Like you said, like he's not, he's a big name. He's probably one of the biggest names in comics in the last 40 years or whatever. But I've yet to find that one story that makes me go, one of my favorites.
Was Black Mirror on that top 10 list of Batman books?
It wasn't, surprisingly. I know.
Okay. Me and ChatGPT are having a word.
Yeah, you spoke about this the other day, and Black Mirror wasn't on this list.
So I've not read Black Mirror. I've started reading it, and I'm going to start reading it because that's the one that Andy's been talking about. But I don't think I've read that one either. Is it quite a big? Is it 12 issues or something?
10.
Scott Snyder, and some Scottish artist. Can't remember his name.
We'll put it this way, Peter. No pressure, but if you don't like it, we can't be friends.
Okay, fair enough. Andy, I think all three of you have read this one. I know Phil has done a very good video on it, which I watched, but I think you mentioned this, Andy. Did you watch this? Read this one?
I read it just because Phil said he was going to read it, and I've never. I can't recall, but I don't think I've ever read a Flash book. This is my first Flash book I've ever read.
No.
What did you think?
Mince apps? No, I'm not sure. I just was a bit confused, and I think it's because of a number of things. Because I'm just generally a little bit confused most of the time. But I didn't really understand the character dynamic. I didn't understand really what was happening. There was a lot to take in at the first 3 or 4 pages of this. And I didn't... It was one of those things I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
leading up to this book, because I think you need to have a little bit of a backstory and know the character, know about Wally West and all that stuff. And it's just something I didn't. So whenever the characters popped up at the end and you see that picture there, I was just like, I have no idea. Sorry. So I think I was lost. I don't think I was the right person to read this book, but I'm really interested to find out what sort of Phil thought of it.
I think out of the 4 so far of the Absolute books, this would be the weakest. But again, what doesn't mean it's bad. It just means the other 3 were better. You're right in terms of like with Batman and Wonder Woman. Even though you wouldn't have read a lot of Wonder Woman, you knew what Wonder Woman was and stood for and all the rest of it. And same with Batman, Superman as well for yourself. Whereas like you're only going to appreciate the differences of this Elseworld if you know what they were before, type of thing.
Sure.
Wally West for me is my favorite version of their favorite Flash, my favorite speedster. Only because Barry Allen's a bit of a. I like Barry Allen too, but he's just Wally West is more interesting. I like the kind of idea that he's just a young kid, goes from like army camp or whatever. His dad goes base to base, whatever. And I'm assuming this guy, by the way, is Captain Cold.
Yeah.
Not right? Yeah, I thought that, but again, that's something that he looks cool. To be fair, and Captain Cold in the Flash books is a bit of a douche, to be honest. But he looks quite cool. He looks like he could be in his own comic book there, the kind of lead character or something. But I like the idea that there's like Barry Allen is in it, but he's not the Flash. There's no other Flash. There's no Speed Force, none of that nonsense. So you're just starting from scratch. And but there's still a lot to be desired with this book. It doesn't really explain a lot. Just kind of tells you what happened, and hopefully the next few issues we'll get more meat on the bones, so to speak.
So just before I jump in, guys, C4 Darkman is saying I had a glue problem with graphic novel once. It's heartbreaking, and he's saying 2 years. C4 Darkman, I think you're probably watching the show about 10 minutes back. I think sometimes when you jump on live shows, it kind of goes back a little bit. So when you catch up, make sure you jump forward to where we are at the moment. So I am, like you, Phil, I'm a bit of a Flash fan. Wally West is 100% my Flash. I picked up reading him after Crisis when he took on the mantle. I was one of those miserable old gits who kind of shook my fist when Barry Allen came back and said, I don't want Barry Allen back. I'm quite happy with Wally as the Flash. So I know a lot of the Flash lore and backstory. This did nothing for us. Nothing for us at all. There's far better Wally West and far better Flash stories out there. I didn't like the inclusion of Captain Boomerang there with his weird glowing green boomerangs and Captain Cold and all that kind of stuff, because it felt kind of just gratuitous, chuck them in with slightly different costumes and slightly different haircuts. So yeah, I'm being negative. This for me is definitely the weakest out of the Absolute books I've read so far. I find, again, being all honest, I find Jeff Lemire's work very hit-y-missy as well. Sometimes I like his work, sometimes it throws us completely. I've loved some of his books. Other books have been too out there for me. Fish Flies and things like that I didn't particularly enjoy. I will still read this book because I want to read a Flash book I enjoy, because I don't like the current run and I'm missing Wally West. Do you know what I mean? So I'll give this at least 3 issues and then I'll make a decision whether I'm going to read on or not.
Yeah, I'm totally the same. Like, I'm not gonna jump on this ongoing forever type of thing. I'm gonna give it a few issues to see how it goes. It's not even on my pull list. I'll nab them when I get into the store. But it needs to deliver more. I think Fuzzy's comment says that it needs more. Could have been longer. I just like the idea of it so far. Yeah. But I also think, for me as well, like I built this book up because the other 3 Absolute books are fantastic. And this could have been, but it doesn't hit the same level as those 3.
Jeff Lemire minds sometimes is a slow burn. So this might be building to this might be one of those books, and we've talked about it before, Andy, haven't we? Yeah, where sometimes reading single issues doesn't do it any justice. You need almost a trade paperback to get the full story flowing, to understand it and get it. I think Jeff Lemire's work works better sometimes as a complete lump rather than over 12 months,
So what would your recommendation be for a non-Flash fan or any? That was my only Flash book that I've read. So if I want to read like The Kingdom Come of Flash,
oh god, I mean, you can't go, to be honest, some of Jeff Jones's Flash run was great. Mark Waid's stuff, Terminal Velocity, Return of Barry Allen. You know, again, these are books I read maybe 10 years ago, so I'm always hesitant because sometimes they don't stand up. I'll have to go back and reread them.
Flashpoint be the
Flashpoint's
main
good.
big one, but I don't know. I don't think you just go into that, can you?
Yeah. I'd have to go back and reread some.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the Mark Waid stuff because I just love his writing when you get introduced to Impulse and Jesse Quick and Max Mercury and all that kind of stuff.
To be fair, the Joshua Williamson run, which is the Rebirth run, I believe, wasn't it? Is held quite high regard as well. I haven't read the whole thing myself, but again, whether that's like the jumping on point or the main book, but no, it's
Jeff
Flash
Jones'
is
stuff on
interesting
Flash
one.
is good.
I want to read not like a reasonably short story, you know, maybe 6-7 issues or whatever, that will introduce me to the character and will steer me towards going and finding more Flash stories like it did with the Superman stuff for Kingdom Come. So.
I'll have a think. Ed is saying, never read any Flash, but bought this because it's Lemire writing it. I haven't read it yet. Let me know what you think when you do, Ed. I think it needed more. It could have been longer. I enjoyed it, and I also know nothing about the Flash. I'll give it a fair go. Same Fuzzy. I'll give it 3 issues. That's kind of my standpoint. 3 issues, then I'll make a decision. I have all 214 issues back down. I think we're talking Batman there. Did you see Lemire has a Bat book coming out? Oh no, I didn't see that. Hope the art's better than the Bat sketch he did me, which looks more like Wolverine. Terry, I've been told issue 2 Absolute Flash is far better. Oh, well, hopefully, mate. Hopefully. Let's have a look. Lol, yeah, it was unique. At least, but I quite liked his Batman and Robin, but Dustin drew it to be fair. Fuzzy, it's better than the Mummy. Yeah, Fuzzy was. I haven't read the Mummy yet, guys. I don't know if either of you had. Fuzzy got his copy early.
I was going to say, is it not out till tomorrow?
Yeah, I think Fuzzy's, whoever he gets his books from, sent it early for him.
It's got a young variant.
Yeah, it's nice. It's got a young variant. It's very nice. We've got the Logan report. Nice to see you, Logan. Ooh, love your prime image there. My favourite Flash stuff is normally when Flash is in someone else's comic. Yeah. Okay, chaps. I've read this book. I don't know if any of you guys have read this. This is Assorted Crisis Events. Fuzzy Dunlop got us onto this one. Either of you guys read it?
I picked it up in the shop because my store promoted it like crazy. So I've got it. I just haven't read it yet.
Have you read it, Andy?
No, I haven't read this one. No.
Is it other characters?
No, I loved it. It's a one where you have got to sit and read it. You've got to dedicate. You can't flick through like that Fing Fang Foom book because it's complex. Is it complex? It's just a different concept to get your head around. So I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't read it, but the basic premise of the story is time's broken. So anything happens anytime, you know, and it's just random stuff happens all the time. Like there'll be an alien invasion or Nazis taking over. There's film sets on our housing estate and stuff, and it's just completely batshit crazy. You don't know why time's broken or anything like that. People disappear at random, appear at random. That panel at the far side there, I love, because you've got her kind of getting drunk, and in the background you can see how time's breaking down. In the space of her having a few drinks, you've got the couple getting proposed, having a baby, arguing, splitting up. And it all just kind of happens randomly, you know? There's a horrible scene where a guy collapses. I don't even know how to describe it. A guy collapses and basically he's born out of his own body. But if you imagine an alien chest burster, yeah? His baby, the baby him, bursts out of his chest. Because time's fucked and he's been... yeah, so it is really interesting book to read. I just found it fascinating. And it left us at the end thinking, yeah, I need to read more of this.
Who's the writer on this?
Dennis Camp.
Yeah. I don't know who he is. I don't know what I've read of him.
He's writing the Ultimates on Marvel, and he's doing the absolute Martian Manhunter, I believe. It's coming out next week. He's actually someone I've never heard of before, but he's done a few things recently.
It's a cool book. I'd recommend you check it out.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
I think it'll be up your street, Andy. Fuzzy saying, love this. Excuse me. Yeah, did like this just as well because I bought 3 of them for some reason.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a nice book. It's a nice book. Andy, you got anything else you want to show off? Last stuff to show off.
Last stuff, yeah, sure. So I picked up a pence copy newsstand of Black Panther issue number 1.
Nice.
Love that cover, love it.
Bit of Kirby goodness, isn't it?
Indeed. Some 2000 AD covers to add to the ever-growing collection of old Mankey paper.
Have you got a complete set more or less now of those?
No. I gave up in the completionist side of things, and I just picked cover artists that I really love. So with that in mind, the likes of Brian Boland. So I think this might be the earliest Brian Boland issue. This is issue number 4, program 45.
Nice.
And I have on my wants list to get the first Judge Dredd. So get issue number 2 if I can.
It's a hard one to get with the bio transfers. I had it and sold it, and I've regretted selling it, to be honest.
No, I don't even mind if I don't get the transfers. I'd just love to have a copy, like a decent copy that's not written over and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You might have seen this on my Instagram. So this is Pro Action NFL magazine, but the reason I picked this up is because it came with a Spider-Man comic in the middle of it, and it also came with some trading cards as well. So I obviously picked it up for the Spider-Man. I like picking up like those sort of issues where you either free trading cards or free like programs in the middle and things like that. I think that's pretty cool. Little bit of Sienkiewicz.
Oh, that's a nice cover.
Amazing Heroes.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Amazing Heroes is definitely worth having a look at the issues and that, especially if you're into buying cover art. You'll see on my Instagram as well. I've put up some like in search of books. One of them is the Wonder Woman cover by Brian Boland that I'm looking for. So if anybody knows where I can pick that up, don't just say eBay because I know I can get loads of them on eBay. But I'd definitely be interested. I can't remember if I've showed you guys this. So this is the Peach Momoko Gone issue number 1, and it's 9.9.
Nice.
I picked this up on eBay for 50 quid.
Wow.
It was an absolute steal. You know, every so often you just, and it wasn't even a snipe, it was just like I'll bid as much as I can go and see what I get it for, and nobody else bid. So it was one of those ones, I think, like you, Peter, where you get it for such a good price where you don't think it's the guy or the person's going to send it out. So last thing, something a little bit different. Temu. Phil, I know you love a little bit of Temu. Oh my goodness. I'm never off the app because, as you know, whenever you open up the Temu app, it keeps giving you loads of like offers and 7 quid off, but then you've got to spend 15 quid. So it's like an online pound store. Great, I love it. So what I picked up was this. Pure random. I have a massive collection of pin badges. But they've just been in plastic bags and things like that from being on holiday and whatever. So I picked up a little display box to stick all my pin badges in. So there's loads of them here from like Disney and stuff like that. There's some Judge Dredd ones and what have you. So I've clearly filled this box. So I'm going to have to go on Temu and get a second box, obviously.
I like that. That's very cool. Very cool.
Something a wee bit different, but yeah, that's my haul.
Good stuff. Just before we move on to you, Phil, Ed saying, interested to see what the new one shot from Patrick Hovarth is going to be like. Is that the one with the cover where the face is kind of split? I remember looking at that. It looked interesting. Looks good, Ed. Bonkers. I love a good eBay bargain. Got first Nova Pence variant for £7.50. Very good.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
amazing. That's amazing. And C4 Darkman, I keep buying Warhammer Lego for Temu. Yeah. I've never really been on it. I'll have to have a check.
Straight on the
Wait, what? Excuse me? Sorry, I'm seeing a minute, guys. I'm away to buy some Warhammer Lego.
Phil, what you got?
I felt compelled to show something off. So this is actually an old purchase, which I think you knew about at the time, Pete, but it's been in the box the whole time, and I've only just taken it out because I've rearranged the shelf. This is hold on, be careful of this. The 1/6 scale of the Terminator. Now this is the cheap version. This is the who made this? Perfect or
is that So Toys? No,
it was So. It was top of my head, Perfect Toys or something like that. Is that right?
Present. Was it Present
That's
Toys?
the one, yeah. And yeah, I mean, I think I like it. It's not, if you take the glasses off, it's not really Arnie. If you see it there, it looks a bit strange for that angle.
I think with the glasses on, it looks you
Yeah.
get Arnie straight away.
So the glasses need to stay on. Also, his neck was too low down, so it did a bit of a blue tack. I shoved the blue tack up the hole and put it on, so it makes.
I knew it was going there.
Yeah, I thought this is really, because I love the movie, and my aim to collect these 1/6 scale things are to get ones of stuff that I like, and not just do what Pete does and buy them all, you know. Just like, so Terminator 2, Terminator Arnie had to be part of it when I seen it. There are other versions. There's the battle damage version of this, and then there's another brand brought one out as well, which is apparently better detailed. But I'm happy with this. I think it's great. Yeah, we got a blue tack up the hole.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Do you know what, Phil? I think for a third party figure, that's a cracking figure. I think the head sculpt with the glasses and everything looks great. Does the job, mate. Does the job.
How many 1/6 scale figures do you have now, Phil?
Just the two.
Just the two. So that was it Aragon, did you say?
Aragon. Remember Aragoner, because I dropped that last time we were on the show.
The face you would trail.
Yeah, I want to get the Legolas. I want to get all the Lord of the Ring ones, to be fair, and like the Venom one. And to be fair, the Hot Toy stuff, I love them. I love them all. There's just too many to choose from.
Yeah.
But I think you can pick them up easier than you can the third party ones.
You can.
So I could get them anytime, really. So
Yeah. Cool.
It's interesting. There's going back to what we were talking about before now. There's a lot of releases now I'm passing on because they're either redoing the same figures. So they've gone back and redone a Terminator 2 or they're redoing a Predator and stuff. And if you've got the originals, it's like if there's not much difference, why go for it, you know?
yeah, like, I'm not buying them because I'm like loyal to this brand or just the character. That's all I want. If I get it one time, that's it. It's the same with the Lord of the Rings. Like, unless maybe they change, I know the bulk of the figures. I'm assuming the ones I buy will just go with the Aragorn I have. So
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Fun. Hoot wants a 1/6
That's only so
scale
Dr.
Harold
Von
with
Hoot
noodles.
can stick some blue tack up his hole.
Okay, I've showed this off before, guys, but I had it in the box. I've taken it out of the box recently to display it, and I absolutely love it. My good pal Efren got this from San Diego Comic Con and sent it over. This is the Marvel Legends Death's Head. I absolutely love it. Interchangeable hands. It's a great figure. Far better than I expected. I'm so pleased I took him out of the box. But he's
Is that a San Diego exclusive?
I think it was, but I don't know if you can. I think you might be able to pick it up on eBay and places like that now. You know.
Oh, God, I have to.
But he's really nice. Really nice.
You get it on Temu?
Probably. So yeah, pick that one up. My lovely, I'm going on holiday in a few weeks' time, and my lovely wife picked us up a book, so I just thought I'd show that off. If I could tell you just one thing, it's a collection of remarkable people and their valuable advice. So you've got people like Bill Clinton on there, Dame Judi Dench, Andy Murray, Bill Gates, David Attenborough, all those kind of people giving kind of just my kind of reading when I'm on holiday. I like short kind of lumps rather than a full book. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Is it bad, Peter, when you showed that? I thought you were going to say you opened it up and she had wrote, "I'm leaving you."
Right, I went on. This is Andy's fault. I went on Whatnot the other day. It's Andy's fault for introducing us to Whatnot. It's a vile, evil platform because I spent too much money.
Hashtag Andy's fault.
Yep. I somehow ended up on famous YouTuber Comic Tom's page. I don't know if you guys have been on his Whatnot sale. He's a very good salesman. He's like very infectious and kind of, before I knew it, I'd spent a small fortune. So that's arrived today. So just to show you off, I haven't seen these in the UK. So tell us in the chat if you've got one. Worth saying, a lot of what I've bought, as usual, impulse buying, and will go in the giveaway box. The reason I spent money is because Whatnot, I think, is very clever. They do giveaways, and if you win a giveaway, you think, oh, well, it's free postage now. I might as well buy stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I won a Red Sonja book.
Oh, lovely.
Oh,
that's nice though.
Boobies. which is nice, but go in the giveaway box. I got 2 copies of this, and this is lush, so I've not seen this. This is X-Men #1 in 3D. So you get the 3D glasses in there. It's got the full pull-out gatefold cover and everything. The entire comic is in 3D.
The recent
3D
#1,
specs.
the recent release, or
No, it's the do you remember the Jim Lee
okay.
classic
Yeah.
from the 90s? It's stunning, absolutely stunning. Really, really like that. I'm going to keep a copy of that and stick a copy of that in the old giveaway box as well. But that's a nice book. I like that one. We then got 2 copies of an Alex Ross homage to Fantastic Four. Love that one. One of them's for me. One of them's going in the giveaway box.
Is it true, Peter, that you send books to any of your fellow presenters whenever you do shows? Is that's still
No.
a thing?
No. Another
That's
Fantastic
a facsimile, isn't it?
Facsimile #1. Yeah. Again, just a classic. A classic book. So we've got that.
yeah, I won in the draw.
And then I got that. That's Comic Tom's signed graphic novel to give it a read. So I'll see what that's all about. Give that a go.
I wouldn't
And
bother.
then, yeah, is it cack? Yeah. I don't even remember buying this, but I know why I would, because I love a bit of Alex Ross. And this is a Virgin variant, John Boy Myers for Magic #1.
Oh, nice.
Very, very nice. Nice.
You really
sexy,
do have
sexy
no
cover.
impulse, do you? No. Oh my god.
I mean, I do like Magic, and I enjoyed this issue 1.
I love Paul Daniels, but
To be fair, Paul Daniels had a CGC out to buy that as well. Okie dokie, let's have a look. Von Hoot saying he needs that Death's Head. C4 Darkman, boom. Phil, #free comics. Is James joining tonight so he can win? Absolutely bloody not. #blue tack, filth. Absolutely filth. I've heard good things about Crashdown. I'll give it a read, Von Hoot, and let you know what I think. But, Phil, back to you for our last comic reviews. Another classic, Arkham Asylum.
So, where I criticised Grant Morrison actually for about this is actually quite good. I really enjoyed this. This is obviously Grant Morrison and Dave McKean. Arkham Asylum. This was also in the top 10. Again, is it worthy of a top 10 position for me? I'm not sure, but it's still a book I'm glad I've read because I really, really enjoyed it. It's dark, and the Joker's classic Joker, like really deranged, really sick. But it ended quite strange. And as in, like, it just ended. I don't really know what fully happened. So this is where it kind of coincides with what's Arkham's name again? The Doctor Arkham. I can't remember his name.
Jeremy or Jeremiah?
So, yeah, something happened to him and his wife and his child back in the day, and he turned his house into this asylum. But he was like drawn to it. It was like a calling, and they talked about seeing this bat and all this kind of stuff. So it's all kind of linked and intertwined cosmically, or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's just really strange. The Joker, like, look at that image of the Joker, really deranged, and he's quite sick. Makes a few jokes that wouldn't really pass today as well. There's a few words used that just wouldn't make comics today. But yeah, this is worth reading. It's dark, it's scary. Not scary, like, but it's just like it takes Batman to a strange place. And he kind of volunteers himself to save the hostages, and he encounters really strange versions of his rogues gallery, Dr. Freeze and Harvey Two-Face. They're not the ones you would expect.
Yeah.
But again, in some sort of weird, what's the word, spiritual or whatever. It's all kind of interlinked between Arkham developing this hospital for the criminally insane or whatever it's called. And yeah, worth reading, but it's just
is this in the top 10, Phil?
This was in the top 10 according to ChatGPT.
Dude, it's definitely a Grant Morrison top 10. Come on.
Yeah.
Remind us, Phil, because I've got the absolute edition of this, and I don't think I've finished reading it. Is the text, the kind of the lettering in it, really hard to read?
Yeah, it is at times. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, even like you see that image there of the Joker, like that's his dialogue. There's no way you you'd have like a white box around so you can identify like
Yeah.
dialogue. So some of the words, basically, I have a wee nightlight. I read in bed, but I had to have the lamp on as well as the nightlight to see
Okay.
some of the images and see some of the writing. So it is quite difficult that way. I'm assuming that's a creative reason to do it like that, to make you a bit more, I don't know, immersive or something. But
I think it turned me off. I think I switched off after that. Andy, have you read this one?
I've not. No, I love the artwork. I must admit. It looks. I'm trying to remember the name of the artist that. It fails me now. Martin Simmons is Martin Simmons.
yeah.
The artwork.
Yeah.
Nice.
Terry's saying he picked it up a couple of years ago, but still hasn't read it. And C4 Darkman, I feel like I've read this. Yeah.
The thing is, like you don't like you see the Batman there in that middle panel. That's like the most you get of Batman. You don't really see the Batman face a lot. It's a lot of this and a lot of shadows and smoke and all that. So it's really kind of atmospheric, if you want to say that. But I did enjoy it. Surprisingly, there's actually a Grant Morrison book that I enjoyed, but again, not worthy of a top 10 for Batman books, in my opinion. But still quite enjoyable.
Yeah. Like I say, I've got it, but for some reason, there must be a reason I haven't read it. Do you know what I mean? I've got a feeling I started reading this and it did me head in, and I couldn't push on with it.
Actually, for how it ended.
Andy, a book that I've read as well, but I'm interested in your thoughts. Out of Alcatraz.
Yeah, so Out of Alcatraz, everybody knows the story of Alcatraz. I don't need to go into that. So I guess when I first seen this, I don't know if it instantly put me off because I just assumed that it was just going to be like, do you remember the book Blue Book that Tinian done?
Yeah.
Where it was based on a true life story. I was going, what can they do to this book that's going to make it really interesting and make me want to read more than one issue? Because surely we know what's going to happen. And I couldn't have been any more wrong on this one. It's written by Christopher Cantwell, who done Briar, if I remember correctly, and Tyler Crook does the artwork, and he's done like Harrow County. If anybody has done that book. And it's basically around two convicts, Frank Morris and Clarence Anglin, who escape from Alcatraz, and the well-known story. But the sort of twist that this one takes is they sort of, once they eventually get to land, it's kind of in the same historical events that the real escape from Alcatraz was. But this one, where the two guys have ended up in some county where a woman meets them. And you kind of don't really know a lot about this person. She's quite, suspicious, but she sort of takes them on board, and they find themselves in a sort of outhouse, getting hidden away while she's doing some sort of wheeling and dealing on their behalf. But as that's happening, it looks as if they've kind of swapped their lives from being in prison to sort of almost another psychological prison, because they're kept in this house and they're kept within the confines of this county. But whilst she's doing the wheeling and dealing on the side, it sort of shows you how these two guys are sort of living within the county, going to bars and things like that, doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. And everything seems okay until you get to the page on the right-hand side where one of the guys absolutely annihilates the sheriff, and kicks 50 lumps out of him. And you go, wait a wee minute here. It went from a guy that's just escaped prison, you were almost vouching for him, to a guy that is capable of doing something like this. So you can obviously, there's a huge amount of anger that's built up, probably because he spent so long in Alcatraz. I thought the artwork in this was fantastic. The story was great. It was a great homage to a historical event, but it definitely, the cliffhanger at the end was the thing that sort of drew the first issue together for me. And it made me want that little bit more. And I think that's what every first issue needs to do. It just ends in a cliffhanger, wanting a little bit more. And overall, I thought it was a fantastic book. I haven't read a huge amount of books, so I'm probably not in a good position to say this, but so far it's been my favourite read that I've not expected to enjoy as much
surprise.
of this year. So yeah, it's been a nice surprise. What do you guys think, or you read it?
Have you read this one, Phil?
No, I went into my store to get it. It was on the shelf. It was the last copy, and there's a big almighty thumbprint on the spine. I thought, I'm just not going to do it. Not that I'm buying books for investment, of course.
Yeah.
I just put me off buying it. But there are other ways to read books, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what I'm definitely going to read. The reason why I wanted to actually read it was I loved that movie. Remember the Clint Eastwood movie?
Yeah.
Fantastic movie. And that's why I wanted to read this too.
Seeing Clint Eastwood, as soon as you said I love that movie, my mind immediately obviously went to Nicolas Cage, Sean Connery, The Rock.
The Rock.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's a classic movie. But no, so I've read this. I'm an absolute sucker for books that are based on some kind of historical event, but then explored a little bit more. Love the art style. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Great read. I'll definitely be picking up the rest of this run. I thought it was tremendous. Interesting story.
Do we think, aside from the book, do we think they survived? Where there's all these theories that they actually survive, they could never find the bodies. Even though they're crooks and they're criminals, I like the romance, the fact that they did survive and they just lived in like South America or something. I like that idea.
I don't know. I don't know. I think if I had survived, we would have heard something by now, surely.
It's like the guy donated a plane of all that money. What's that one, John? What's his name?
Loki, wasn't it? Wasn't it Loki? Because he appears in the show.
Just the idea.
The water temperature, apparently, because have you guys ever been to Alcatraz? Been to San Francisco? So I've been, and they tell you the story about it and how cold the water was, and they just said that it would have been an impossibility for that to happen. And whenever you're in Alcatraz, they used to have the keys hanging up, so it was kind of like all the crooks and stuff like that could actually see the keys. So it was almost like tempting them to try and go and grab the keys to escape and stuff.
Wow.
Just jumping to the comments, guys, just before we move on. Terry, if the letter, this is about Arkham Asylum, if the lettering's like that, I probably won't read it. Eyes are too old for that foolishness. Same for me, mate. Andy, this is your fault. I'm blaming you for this with the 1/6 chat that's exploded. You got my mind going now. I need a 1/6 scale Bruce Forsyth. Test daily, Terry, once. Fuck me. Fuzzy saying best comic I've read in ages. The Alcatraz one was tremendous. It was really cool. Great. Terry's got it on order. Darkman, Bob Monkhouse to fight your Forsyth. Yeah. Cool look at art. We'll check it out. It's a good read, mate. It's a good read. Good luck. Forsyth has a 1/6. Oh, Hale and Pace. Used to love Hale and Pace.
But too young for that, I think.
Oh, it was tremendous. Just want to ask, should comics sellers be selling comics if we're just going to be pissy with people that ask for discounts? I think there's no harm with people asking for discounts. I think that's the way we barter, isn't it? That's the way we.
I don't think any comic seller should be selling comics if they don't expect to give a discount.
Yeah.
One of the things
that said, I'm not good at haggling, mind. I don't know about you guys. Yeah. I'm no good if I go to a Comic Con asking for haggling.
But there's one thing I hate that I never actually see happen over here, but in America it's quite common that you go up to the store at the till to pay for a book and they check eBay prices and then charge you that price for the book. Yeah. I would hate that. So I would definitely ask for a discount in that instance. So you can have it cheaper, please.
Yeah.
So interestingly, there's a comic shop very local to me. That's probably one of the only local what our class is a proper comic shop. So not your kind of your Forbidden Planets and stuff. This is a place that just sells old comic books, loads of long boxes and stuff like that. Lovely guy. I've been there many a time. You'll see on my channel, I've got lots of videos about him. But he does my head in because he does exactly that, Phil. He's got so much stock. He's got nothing priced. You go to the till and you literally see him on eBay checking prices, and I cannot be doing that. It does, so I've kind of stopped going, to be honest, because I can't cope with it,
I wouldn't get into my business.
Fuzzy BD Cooper, that's the guy who jumped from the airplane. Lewis, nice to see you, Lewis. Mythbusters did an episode on the Alcatraz. Oh, cool, very cool. We've got Dan, nice to see you, Dan. Hope you're well. Okay, last review, guys, and it's a bit of a surprise, a bit of a different one for us. I don't think either of you might have read it. You know. Sorry, I'm chuckling. We've got one of my favourite commenters. I always enjoy Truss's Pork Markets. I'd like a 1/6 scale pork market. Of course you would. Course you would. With
Wouldn't we all?
Wouldn't we all? Wouldn't we all? Yeah. So yeah, you know how much I detested the recent Thundercats run. Yeah, we've talked about it a lot.
Well, do tell. Tell us more.
Awful.
Was it the art or something?
It was just everything. It was everything, Phil. It was everything. They've recently done a spin-off series called Thundercats Lost, chronicling the tales of a different group of Thundercats. Now, if you're into your Thundercats, you'll recognise some of these. These are the guys and gals that appeared in the Thundercats Ho, the movie, where we got introduced to Linkso, Pumaira, Bengal, and various others. I was excited to read this because I hate the other Thundercats book so much. I thought this cannot possibly be worse than that. Other than I'm not going to spoil it, but a death of one of my favourite characters, which I don't think really is a death. This book was great. I really enjoyed it. I thought the art was better. I thought the writing style was better. The tale had us intrigued. This is going to be my Thundercat book going forward. I'm going to definitely give this 3 issues and see what I think from there. This, for me personally, is far superior to the normal Thundercat run.
See, I thought you were going to say Thundercats, and is it Powerpuff Girls? That's
No, sweet
coming
Jesus,
out?
no, I am not.
But I am looking
Thundercats.
forward to that more than I would
Christ.
check this out. I think.
Why?
I thought I was the only one that was disappointed when he brought this slide up, to be honest with you, because I was... Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you? Let's just quickly jump back into the chat. Nigel is saying if they're just going to charge eBay prices, what's the point of going to the shop unless it's a big book you want to buy? Absolutely, Nigel. Totally agree. And do you know what? I don't know what you guys think. It's almost a psychological thing. It gets my back up straight away. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know why. I just kind of think, come on, it peases off, you know.
You're doing their job for them effectively because you're picking up all the and that defeats the thrill of the hunt, I guess.
Yeah.
Starmer Sutra. Yeah, Starmer Sutra always turns up when Trust Pork Markets turns up. Nice to see you, Starmer. Nice to see.
If they start doing 1/6 scale of Keir Starmer or Liz Truss, that's when you know it's going down the route of Funko Pops or just doing everything, anything. Just get out of the game straight away. You know?
Yeah. And I'd probably buy them. Ed is saying, am I right in saying they're doing Thundercats and Powerpuff Girls? They are, Ed. Just, Jesus, no. Bang out of order. They should do their own damn jobs and price the books. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. If a book goes up in price, I think that's like good on you. You're lucky. You're the lucky one that gets it at that cheap price. Fair play.
Absolutely. And Nigel, again, you're absolutely right. I travelled from where I live about an hour and a half, 2 hour drive to a shop. Again, I've done videos on it on my channel. Lovely guy, a store owned by a husband and wife who've basically been collectors all their lives. They've kind of retired from the mainstream jobs and set up a comic shop. Tons of long boxes. I picked all the books that I wanted. I got, I have to say, a good stack, maybe £200 worth, say. Took them to the counter, and I'd been chatting with them all the way through. And I was in the shop about 3 hours because it had, you know, when you've just got so much to go through. And when I got to the till, I don't do the haggling, I have to say, because I don't like it. But when I got to the till, they automatically took, I think it was 15% off, and just said, just thanks for your custom. And I thought, well, do you know what? I'll go back. Lovely thing to do, you know.
And I think that's that's a decent thing to do if you're buying a stack of books. I think, playing devil's advocate, you've got to remember that these shop owners are paying rates, paying tax, assumably, and every time that you pay with your card, they're paying at least 3 or 4% as well. So there's a massive chunk of that cost is already coming off. That's obviously not your problem as the buyer, but you've got to take into consideration. If it's like an online person, then you know there's no reason why they can't haggle.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, we're coming to the end of the show. I just want to mention I do have channel memberships now live on the channel. Absolutely no pressure for anybody to do that. But if you do want to support the channel, please do check that out and give it a look. So with that in mind, let's do a bit of a giveaway. #Flash. Stick #Flash in the comments. Myself and the gents are going to update you on what's happening on our channels over the next few weeks. But if you put #Flash in the comments, we'll pick a winner as soon as we're finished to give some to give some comic books away. Phil. Phil. Have you changed the name of your channel again?
Yeah, I go through these wee stages where I fancy a change, and I'll be honest with you, right? So, since I started doing videos again, not that I don't care about the subscriber count, I really don't. But as soon as I started making videos again, the count was going down and not up. So people who were subscribed forgot all about me, realized, oh, this guy not like his stuff. So I kind of went through and I changed a few things. I was playing the algorithm. I read up. I was actually ChatGPT.
I was going to say that's the most ChatGPT title for a video I've ever seen in my life.
If you go back and look at all my videos, I've changed all the titles. I've changed the I put it into the AI and it done it for me, just to try and I think the term is SEO, search engine optimization, or something like that. So I don't care to look into that, but I thought I'll try it and see what happens. Kind of works. Like I didn't realize I had 81 views. That's quite good for me, I think. So yeah, changed my name, put my face on it. Yeah, it's a handsome. It took me 100 goes to take that picture. I was quite proud of it.
Shut up.
Can we see the other 99? You should do a video on the other 99.
Yeah, like a time and motion thing.
Yeah, but no, I am trying to upload every week. There's such some weeks I can't. Just on a Friday I have more time to do it. Some days I do get a little bit busy, but I aim to do something every week. And I started doing a video called Weekly Reader, and I realized there's some weeks I don't read anything, so I can't do that. So I'm trying to change it up. So hopefully you'll get something from me every single week. Apart from like school holidays, there's no hope being in a video when the kids are around. So
can we get signed copies of the other 99 photos?
Yeah, put it as part of the giveaway. Yeah, 100%.
Do you do any live shows, Phil? Or is it just all recorded stuff?
I will do live shows eventually. It's just one of those ones that I don't know. Like me and Martin, so Sonic's Comics would do one called What's on the Omnibus. We've done it on my channel and Comic Airwaves channel. But we just haven't done that again. Again, I've been quite busy the last few weekends myself, so it's just getting the time coordinated.
I look forward to an invite, Peter. Yeah.
I've been on.
Do you collect Omnibus?
What?
I've been on, yeah.
Does it matter, Philip?
No, it doesn't at all. I will aim to do more live streams eventually. But yeah.
But your content, seriously, Phil, not being funny, but your content is great. I'm enjoying your videos and your reviews, so please keep them up. Please do go check out Philip's Comics over on YouTube. Give him a subscribe, please, and keep up the great work. Andy, we're back on Thursday.
Yeah.
Does Philip have an OnlyFans?
I can do.
Andy, we're back on Thursday with the Killer Comics show, 9 o'clock.
We are indeed, yeah, 9 o'clock Thursday, and so we're doing every 2 weeks now, just to ease ourselves back in after a bit of a hiatus, and yeah, we are more of the same, more fun, more banter. We'll get killer covers. We're doing review. I'll be reviewing Alcatraz again, I guess, and yeah, there'll be lots of other stuff. So please, we're looking to try and get to 1,000 subscribers. So if there's anybody watching us watching the rewind, please go check out the Killer Comics show and give us a sub. That would be much appreciated.
Yeah, some great stuff. So please do go and check that out on Thursday night, 9 o'clock. Don't forget, guys, hashtag Flash in the comments if you want to be in the giveaway.
Can I interject as well here? Sorry.
Of course you can.
You did say at the start of the show for people to keep their classics to the end of the show for us to read. So any recommendations? Because I want to know myself, so please put any recommendations in the comments as well.
Absolutely. So guys, if you've got any, like we say, classic books that you think everybody should read, that you would recommend we're reading. So nothing from like the last year or two. A classic story for to go back and read. That would be great. On my channel, got a whole host of different stuff you can check out. We've got our retro review of Daredevil by Ben Affleck. We've got my Masters of the Universe video talking a little bit about all the interesting stuff that's coming our way from Amazon with the Masters of the Universe movie. I did a bit of a review of Superman and Lois. I think it's a stonking series, so please do check that out. And did a pop culture playback on V. You guys familiar with V?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Lovely, absolutely lovely. So did that recently as well. Next week for Triple J Tuesday, we have got our toy show. Let's talk toys. So I think Sorrel is still in hospital, so it'll probably just be myself, James, and Simon. So please do jump on 9 o'clock next Tuesday when we'll chat all things action figures. Got a little bit of a sneak peek just to show you before we draw the competition. So I'm just going to play this little video that Andy has worked on. So here we go. Andy, do you want to tell the people what Rusty Staples is?
Don't know. No, I have no idea what you're talking about, Peter. What is Rusty Staples? Rusty Staples is an idea that myself and Peter have been discussing, procrastinating about for months. Here, weeks, months, years. It feels that way. And we've enjoyed the last couple of shows where we've done lives and stuff like that, and we thought that we would give our own show a go. It's going to be part of the phenomenal TripleG Comics network, which is slowly but surely taking over the world, and we're going to do once a month. And the first show is the 30th of April.
Yeah,
we're going to do our first show.
30th of April. Yeah.
So looking forward to it. Peter, anything you want to say?
No, so we have been talking about it for a long time. We've been wanting to try and pull something together for a little bit. So yeah, 30th of April, we'll give it a shot. We've got an interesting kind of rundown of different things we're going to be doing on the show. So it should be an interesting one. As Von Hoot says, sounds like a 70s porn star. There might be some porn in there, Von Hoot. There might be some porn.
That's exactly what we were going for, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what we're going for. So yeah, so look out for that. Just a new show for it to try out, and we'll see how it goes. Right, chaps, let's see if I can click the right buttons. Can you see that? Okay, so here's our giveaway. We've got 11 entries. Let's just click that right button. Right, here we go. Good luck, everybody. Let's see who wins some comic books. And our winner tonight is C4 Darkman. Excellent, C4 Darkman. Congratulations. You know how it works, C4 Darkman. Drop us a line on Instagram with your details and who to send these books to. So, chaps, let's make myself. Oh, I don't know where you've gone. There we are. Right, 5 books, chaps. No shenanigans. Andy, you pick first. You can tell us top, middle, or bottom, or you can tell us to just put your finger along them.
Can I have the 16th book from the back, please?
Fucking 16th book, man. I hate you.
You're welcome. Join the queue, Peter. Join the queue.
Phil?
The 17th book from the back, please.
You piece of shit.
Yes, Philip.
Right, Andy?
Can I have the 18th book from the back, please?
Just keep your hand where it
I'm just going to leave my finger where it was.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Phil?
Can I have the 19th book from the front, please?
From the front? Of course. Phil, of course you can.
Oh dear.
Bet this makes great viewing.
Just for us, just for me and Andy, yeah.
How many's that? 2, 3, 4. One more, Andy.
Can I have the 28th book from the front, please?
No, you can't. No, you can't. I'm going to pick one at random.
That's a spoil sport.
No, I'm not picking one at random. That's not fair. Tell us when to stop. Are you just going to sit and look at us? Do you know what? I don't get this shit from Keegan or for Passport Comics. Right, I'm going for that one.
Stop.
It's too late. Okie dokie. So, bastards, honestly. You have got, let's have a look. Oh,
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Thor
That's
cover.
connected. That's the connecting cover too, isn't it? That one.
Yeah, variant edition. Thor cover.
Nice.
Oh, Alex Ross, Kang the Conqueror. Oh, that's a variant. Dark Ages #1. Can't remember who the artist is. Mickey Mouse as Iron Man. Oh, that's nice. Some old school Superman.
I love
We
the
picked well. We picked well. I think.
190.
absolutely. I love the way that Peter's giveaway box is better than my collection.
I'm also going to chuck in Dark Minx. I don't think you got one. I've got a load of these. This is Sync issue 14 by John Lees and Alex Cormack, and I actually feature in the comic, believe it or not. So I'll send you a copy of that as well. See if you can find us, because it's shite. But yeah, have a look at that. So there you go. So drop us a line and we'll get those books to you as soon as possible. Probably be the weekend before I can send them. Okie dokie. That's all we had for you tonight, guys. Anything you want to add before we go, chaps?
No, I've had a good time. Thanks for asking me on, Pete. I love coming.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And I shall see you on Thursday.
It's been all right.
It's been all right. Yeah, it's been all right. Lovely. Thank you very much, chaps. Always a pleasure. Thank you to everybody that's watched tonight. We really do appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
The curtains close. It's time to go. We really hope you enjoyed the show. Check out my channel for more geeky fun and hit like, subscribe before you run. All that remains is our thanks to you from Triple G and his YouTube crew. We really do hope you come on back, but for now, that's your whack. Yeah, that's